The red. There it goes. All right. Now for the Facebook. And, oh man. Day-ho. There was something about a Facebook executive. I wasn't exactly positive. Okay. Let's post up the billboard. Been on the computer a lot today, so makes this inputting that much easier. Alrighty. All right. Host ICHARDSLEZAK. Bam, and 3, 2, 1, start broadcasting over Facebook. Good evening. I'm Richard Slezak. This is the voice of KXVS.org, the voice of Stockton.org, webcasting now over Facebook and YouTube. And there I am on one of the cameras. Let us get into first I'd like to introduce you to our sponsors, and they are a wonderful bunch, and you can be one too if you're a small business here in Stockton. And Hotel Furniture Liquidators over at 1648 North Shaw Road. Nearest cross street is East Fremont, east of 99. Furniture for your home. Books are at the Miracle Mile Bookstore, 2210 Pacific Avenue, and Doors Book Recyclery at 2310 Pacific Avenue. Plastics. Oh, you want to make your own rods, sheets, and tubes? They got it at Custom Plastics and Signs. They'll build displays. They'll fabricate. They'll print and fabricate signage, corrugated signage. You see it all over town, these campaign signs. Stencils, vehicle and boat graphics. They'll print up T-shirts, the silkscreen T-shirts, and print up business cards at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard here in Stockton. Custom Plastics and Signs. Millennium Computer Repair. They'll repair your computer, hardware and software in the 209 at 922-1879. Sarfraz Khan, the leading technician. That is Millennium Computer Repair, 209-922-1879. Habitat for Humanity Restored. New materials arriving daily, such as building accoutrements, doors, windows, furniture, wallboard, HVAC, electrical, equipment, tools, hardware, nails, screws, paint, cleaning supplies are at the Restore, 4933 Northwest Lane, 100 yards south of March Lane. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily, open at 4:30 Monday through Saturday, 5:30 on Sundays till 6. Yes, get that Donut Jones fulfilled by Chenoweth Sam and Civ Sam at 1304 East Hammer Lane. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. Need your T-shirt printed or a whole lot of T-shirts printed? Look no further than Leaders T-shirt Printing, 500 East Lodi Avenue, Sweetie at Garfield in Lodi. Business cards as well. Yes, and you too can be a sponsor. Come and visit us. We're at 231 West Bedford Road. That's right off Pacific, right next to 2001 Pacific Avenue here in Stockton. 8-5. And again, 231 West Bedford Road. I'm in the John Moriarty studio, and this is the Islam Show, Sunday Evening Islam Show. And let's get the audition up now to, all right, it looks like things are wide open, and that means I can just 2018-10-14 and Sunday Islam Show. All right, and here we go. We got 7:07 p.m. here at the voice of, that is KXVS.org. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, listeners to KXVS.org. That is the voice of Stockton coming to you, and soon to be on the FM here locally in Stockton. It's the Sunday Night Islam Show with your host, Richard Slezak. We got about 7:08 p.m. here in Stockton. Let me migrate around, get some light on the subject and our materials out. Yes, sirree. Got University the Air radio going for you. Educate the public. The more enlightened we are, the better. Now, there are religious truths in the Quran and in the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah. There are also a lot of facts. So you might not agree with this religion, but here, you can learn about it. This is, we bring you the whole toboggan. We're reading through the Quran, 2 different translations, and through all the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah collection. So, we go forward, and testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, this works. And okay. 7:07 start on audition, and we did sponsors. Alrighty. And last week we were reading in the Quran, the 1991 translation, 9th edition. It came out in 2006, and I picked it up in about 2007. So we made it up to verse 153, and so we essentially just have a page left to read. And I like to keep notes. And this is Surah 37, verse 154. What ails you? How judge you? Will you not then reflect, or have you a clear warrant, that in parentheses authority, then produce your book if you are mindful, truthful. And they imagine kinship between him and the jinn, whereas the jinn know well that they will be brought before him. And here's a footnote. The angels are at least pure beings engaged in the services of Allah, but the pagan superstitions not only connect them with Allah as daughters, but even connect Allah by relationship with all kinds of spirits, good or evil. In some mythologies, the most evil powers are gods or goddesses, as if they belong to the family of Allah the Creator and had some semblance of equality with him. This too is repudiated in the strongest terms. Verse 159, glorified be Allah from that which they attribute to him. Save single-minded slaves of Allah. Lo, verily, you and that which you worship, you cannot excite anyone against him, save him who is to burn in hell. There is not one of us, the angels, in parentheses, continuing, but has his known position. A footnote. To round off the argument of the surah, we go back to the idea with which it began. Those who range themselves in the ranks for the united service of Allah, whether angels or men of God, or are content to keep their ranks and do whatever service is assigned to them. Verse 165, truly we are only the rankers, and we are only glorifiers. And indeed they used to say, if only we had before us a reminder from the men of old, we would be single-minded slaves of Allah. But now that it come, they disbelieve therein, but they will come to know. And verily our word went forth of old unto our bondsmen sent to warn, that they verily would be helped, and that our host they verily would be the victors. So withdraw from them, in parentheses, O Muhammad, continuing a while, and watch, for they will soon see. Would they hasten on our doom? But when the doom comes home to them, then it will be a hapless mourn for those who have been warned. Withdraw from them a while, and watch, for they will soon see. Glorified be your Lord, the Lord of majesty, from that which they attribute unto him. And peace be unto those sent to warn, and praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. And that was verse 182, thus ending Surah 37 in the Quran. And what time we getting to have? Looks to be 7:15. Finish Surah 37, and that was in the Quran. Now we go over to the 1956 N.J. Dawood, the Quran. That was translated in that year. Well, maybe over the course of years leading up to that time, that's when it was published initially. So 1970 Crown Books, Penguin Books publishing paperback. So it's a good translation. Most all of them are, and what they bring forth is English spoken at the time of their translations. So yeah, and so that's one of the major causes of differences between translations. So Here we go from the 1956 N.J. Dawood translation. The ranks, in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, I swear by those who range themselves in ranks, by those who cast out demons, and by those who recite our word, that your God is one, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and that lies between them, the Lord of the eastern regions. We have decked the lower heaven with constellations. They guard it against rebellious devils, so that they may not hear the words of those on high. Meteors are hurled at them from every side, then driven away. They are consigned to an eternal scourge. Eavesdroppers are pursued by fiery comets. And the unbelievers, if they hold themselves of a nobler make than the rest of our creation, of course, clay we created them. You marvel while they scoff. When they are warned, they take no warning. When they are shown a sign, they mock it and say, this is plain magic. When we are dead and turned to dust and bones, shall we be raised to life? We and our forefathers say yes, and you shall be held to shame. One blast will sound, and they shall see the resurrection. Woe to us, they will exclaim. This is the day of reckoning. This is the judgment day which you denied. But we shall say, come, call the sinners, their wives, and the idols which they worship besides Allah, and lead them to the path of hell. Keep them there for questioning. But what has come over you that you cannot help one another? And looks like we have about 7:20. And let me do a little mark here. Reading Quran, page 167. Continuing. On that day, they will all submit to Allah. They will reproach each other, saying, you have imposed upon us. No, it was you who would not be believers. We had no power over you. You were sinners all. Just is the verdict which our Lord has passed upon us. We shall surely taste his punishment. We misled you, but we ourselves have been misled. On that day they will all share our punishment. Thus we shall deal with the evildoers. For when it was said to them, there is no God but Allah, they replied with scorn, are we to renounce our gods for the sake of a mad poet? Surely he has brought the truth, confirming those who were sent before him. You shall all be sternly punished. You shall be rewarded according to your deeds. As for the true servants of Allah, a generous portion shall be made for them. They shall feast on fruit and be honored in the gardens of delight. Reclining face to face upon soft couches, they shall be served with a goblet filled at a gushing fountain. Their drink shall neither dull their senses nor befuddle them. And by their side shall sit bashful, dark-eyed virgins, as chaste as the sheltered eggs of ostriches. They will put questions to each other. One of them will say, I had a friend who used to ask, Do you really believe in the resurrection? When we are dead and turned to dust and bones, shall we be brought to judgment? And he will say to those around him, Come, let us look down. He will look down and see his friends in the midst of hell. By the Lord, he will say to him, You almost ruined me, but for the grace of Allah, I shall have surely been driven into hell. The blessed will ask, Surely we not die a second time, or be punished at all? Surely that is the supreme triumph. Let every man labor to achieve it. Is this not a better welcome than the zaquam tree? We have made this tree a scourge for the wrongdoers. It grows in the nethermost part of hell, bearing fruit like devils' heads. On it they shall feed, and with it they shall cram their bellies together with draughts of scalding water. Then to hell they shall return. They found their fathers eating, yet they eagerly followed in their footsteps. Most of the ancients have gone astray before them, though we had sent apostles to give them warning. Consider the fate of those whom we had warned. They perished all except Allah's true servants. Noah prayed to us, and his prayers were graciously answered. We delivered him and all his tribe from the mighty scourge, so that his descendants were the sole survivors. We bestowed on him the praise of later generations. Peace be on Noah among all men. Thus we renewed the righteous. He was one of God's believing servants. The others we overwhelmed with the flood. Abraham was one of the self-same faith, and came to his Lord with a pure heart. He said to his father and to his people, What are these that you worship? Would you serve false gods instead of Allah? What do you think of the Lord of the creation? Time for an engineer check. Here at the Voice of Stockton, coming to you over KXVS. I gotta pick up my bookmark. Okay, things look good there. Got 7:25 p.m. here at KXVS.org, and get that out there. And yep, things are going fine. My bookmark. My. Uh-oh. We'll make it. We're reading from the N.J. Dawood translation. It has no verse designations. Okay. Thus we reward the righteous. He was one of our believing servants. Okay. We lifted up his eyes to the stars and said, I am sick, and his people turned their backs and went off. He stole away to their idols and said to them, Will you not eat your offerings? Why do you not speak? With that he fell upon them, striking them down with his right hand. The people came running to the scene. Would you worship that which you have made with your own hands, he said, when it was Allah who created you and all that you have made? They replied, Build up a pyre and cast him into the blazing flames. Thus they schemed against him. But he balked their schemes. He said, I will take refuge with my Lord. He will guide me. Grant me a son, Lord, and let him be a righteous man. We gave him news of a gentle boy, and when he reached the age when he could work with his father, said to him, My son, I dreamt that I was sacrificing you. Tell me what you think. He replied, Father, do as you are bidden. Allah willing, you shall find me faithful. And when they had both surrendered themselves to Allah's will, and Abraham laid down his son prostrate upon his face, he called out to him, saying, Abraham, you have fulfilled your vision. Thus did we reward the righteous. That was indeed a bitter test. We ransomed his son with a noble sacrifice and bestowed on him the praise of later generations. Peace be on Abraham. Thus are the righteous rewarded. He was one of our believing servants. We gave him Isaac, whom he made a saintly prophet, and blessed them both. Among their offspring were some who did good works, and others who clearly sinned against their souls. We showed favor to Moses and Aaron, and delivered them with all their people from a mighty scourge. We succored them, and they became victorious. We gave them the glorious scriptures and guided them to the right path. We bestowed on them the praise of later generations. Peace be on Moses and Aaron. Thus we reward the righteous. They were two of our believing servants. We also sent forth Elias, who said to his people, Have you no fear of Allah? Would you evoke Baal and forsake the most gracious Creator? Allah is your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers. But they denied him, and thus incurred our punishment, except Allah's true servants. We bestowed on him the praise of later generations. Peace be on Elias. Thus we reward the righteous. He was one of our believing servants. Lot too was an apostle. We delivered him and all his kinsfolk except for an old woman who stayed behind and utterly destroyed the others. You pass by their ruins morning and evening. Will you not take heed? Jonah too was one of our apostles. He fled to the laden ship, cast lots with the crew, and was condemned. A whale swallowed him, for he had done amiss, and he had not devoutly praised Allah. He would have stayed in its belly till the day of resurrection. We threw him gravely ill upon a desolate shore, and caused a gourd tree to grow over him. Thus we sent him to a nation 100,000 strong or more. They believed in him, and we let them live in ease a while. Ask the unbelievers if it be true that Allah has daughters while they themselves choose sons. Did we create the angels females, and were they present at their creation? Surely they lie when they declare, Allah has begotten children. Would he choose daughters instead of sons? What has come over you that you should judge so ill? Will you not take heed? Have you a positive proof? Show us your scriptures. if what you say be true. They assert kinship between him and the jinn, but the jinn well know that they will all be brought before him, except Allah's true servants. Exalted be Allah above their imputations. Neither you nor your idols shall deceive any about Allah, save him who is destined for hell. We each have our appointed place. We range ourselves in adoration and give glory to him. They say, had we received an admonition from the ancients, we would have become true servants of Allah. Yet they disbelieve in the Quran. They shall before long know the truth. Long ago we promised the apostles who served us that they would receive our help and that our armies would be victorious. So give no heed to them a while. You shall surely see their downfall, as they shall see your triumph. Do they wish to hurry our punishment? Dismal shall be that morning when our vengeance smites them in their courtyards, forewarned though they have been. So give no heed to them a while. You shall surely see their downfall, as they see your triumph. Exalted be your Lord, the Lord of glory, above their imputations. Peace be on the apostles. Praise to Allah, Lord of the creation. And that was the ranks of Surah 37 and the N.J. Dawood, the Quran, 1956 translation, and it looks to be that we have 734, so that went nice and quick. Quran to page 171, finished. And that was Surah 37. All right, now let me get out my computer and we can get to the Bukhari, Hadith, and Sunnah. Got about 18 of those in the next book. And ooh-wee, getting kind of warm in here. Yep. Going to be going over book 49. Get my power cord out. All right, don't want to lose any of the audience. Just getting the computer going here, because I got the entire Bukhari on the computer. All right. Okay, we got the computer out. Getting Windows ready. Do not turn off your computer. All right, let me get some H2O. Oh, my. Blow, fan, blow. Alrighty. Uh-oh. Working on updates, 15% and 16%, so it's going to be a while. Got the updates, and this is the Islam Show. Out at the Mexican Heritage Center, we got things going on. They're here in Stockton. They're at Sutter and Market Streets. And on the 11th, they got Community Altars Exhibit Reception. That's already happened. Coming up on the 19th, Demystified Symposium and Mixer. On the 26th, there's the Muertos Ball. And on the 27th, there's the Muertos Street Fiesta. So that sounds real good. Yeah, at the Dia de los Muertos events at the Mexican Heritage Center here in Stockton. Okay. My HP 15, how we doing? Uh-oh, we're only 30% complete over here on the updates. Pardon this. And, dressed for the weather outside, but it's warm in here. We got 7:40 p.m. This is KXVS.org. It is the Sunday easel. Oh no, it's doing a shutdown. Wah. Did you dodo machine? Oh my. See, because this is the order that we have things, so please bear with me. And 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And it did its shutdown, and now it seems to be starting up okay. And let me go over here to these other computers and make sure things are rolling along okay. Come on. Okay, yeah, 7:40 p.m. And on our Edition computer. Okay, things are going fine on the Edition computer. And back on my HP 15, things look like they're still in a setup phase. Uh-oh, getting Windows ready, but it's a different kind of screen. Don't turn off your computer. No, I just turned it on. So I guess it's... Uh-oh, more update work. And seems to be going a bit faster. Got up to 93%, but is holding. And... says it's working on updates and that it's now complete. Okay, while this is going, I'm going to get another bottle of water. Oh, my. Righty, we're back, and gonna see what I can come up with here now, and should be able to get started with the sharing of the Bukhari. And oh my. Okay. 20. We're coming right along. And got 7:42 p.m. This is KXVS.org. It's a Sunday evening Islam show. We're moving right along. We finished Surah 37, the ranks. It came forth around 626 of the Common Era in Medina. And still looking to set up the computer here. Not everything seems to be up, so up there we're getting some things. The only one here in the station. It's a normal condition for me when I'm doing my shows on the weekend evenings. And hopefully this will come forth. And trying to bring up, now we go dark screen. That's not good. This thing, it needed to do its whole setup. Okay, hopefully now it's all set up. File Explorer. I got the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah collection in storage on this, downloaded on a PDF. And it doesn't seem to want to be coming up. Hopefully. Now I got a little spinny going. Computer is being slow. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to get a water. Okay. It's having to, this is the third setup it's having to go through, so please bear with me. I don't know, this is the first time I've encountered this problem with it. Something's coming up now, so hopefully. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Working on it. That's nice to know. Okay. Oh man. Alrighty, we got 7:46 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton, coming to you over KXVS.org. I am Richard Slezak. This is the Sunday Evening Islam Show, and we're going to be getting into Book 49 of the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah. And Oh, man. Search or enter web address. Oh, okay. It's sucker's working slow, man. Finally up. Okay. Let me swoop on into book 49. And that's book 26. Oh, book 37. Book 48. I don't know how long book 48 is, but we just have to scroll through it till we get to book 49. It could be very long. Okay, 836. We're in volume 3. There's 9 volumes. Oh, book 49, Peacemaking, and we're on page 615 of 700 pages. So let me get my notes back out and set the Qurans aside. And let's see, we got 749. Let's see. Page 615 of 1700. Bukhari, Hadith Sunnah, book 49, Peacemaking. So in some ways this might be alluding to events, activities, words spoken later on, about 629, 630, 631, 632. And I'm trying to keep it in kind of a 626 time period, but that's not always possible. So we just are going to go ahead, and I'll be sharing this with you, and realize that it's we're trying to keep it within a time frame, but that's not always possible. Okay. Narrate. Okay, now this is starts at 8:55. So narrated Saul bin Saad, there was a dispute amongst the people of the tribe of Bani Amr bin Auf. So this was in Medina. This could have been referring to something as early as 624, 623. The prophet went to them along with some of his companions in order to make peace between them. The time for the prayer became due, but the prophet did not turn up. Bilal pronounced the adhan, in other words, the call, for the prayer, but the prophet did not turn up. So Bilal went to Abu Bakr and said, "The time for prayer is due, and the prophet is detained. Would you lead the people in the prayer?" Abu Bakr replied, "Yes." you wish. So Bilal pronounced the Iqamah of the prayer, and Abu Bakr went ahead to lead the prayer. But the Prophet came walking among the rows till he joined the first row. The people started clapping, and they clapped too much, and Abu Bakr used not to look hither and thither in the prayer, but he turned round and saw the Prophet standing behind him. The Prophet beckoned him with his hand to keep on praying where he was. Abu Bakr raised his hand and praised Allah, and then retreated till he came to in the first row, and the Prophet went ahead and led the people in the prayer. When the Prophet finished the prayer, he turned towards the people and said, "O people, when something happens to you during the prayer, you start clapping. Really, clapping is permissible for women only. If something happens to one of you in his prayer, he should say, Subhan Allah, glorified be Allah, for whoever hears him saying so will direct his attention towards him. O Abu Bakr, what prevented you from leading the people in the prayer when they beckoned to you to continue?" Abu Bakr replied, "I do not befit the son of Abu Quhafa to lead the prayer in front of the Prophet." Okay, that was 855. Going on to 856. Narrated Anas, it was said to the Prophet, "Would that you see Abdullah bin Ubay." So the Prophet went to him, riding a donkey, and the Muslims accompanied him, walking on salty barren land. When the Prophet reached Abdullah bin Ubay, the latter said, "Keep away from me. By Allah, the bad smell of your donkey has harmed me." On that, the Ansari man said to Abdullah, "By Allah, the smell of the donkey of Allah's apostle is better than your smell." On that, the man from Abdallah's tribe got angry for Abdallah's sake, and the two men abused each other, which caused the friends of the two men to get angry, and the two groups started fighting with sticks, shoes, and hands. We were informed that the following divine verse was revealed in this concern, and if two groups of believers fall to fighting, then make peace between them. And 856, and that was 49:9 Surah. Continuing, number 857, narrated Kalthum bint Uqba, that she heard Allah's apostle saying, "He who makes peace between the people by inventing good information or saying good things is not a liar." Number 858, narrated Saul bin Saad, once the people of Kuba fought with each other till they threw stones at each other. When Allah's apostle was informed about it, he said, "Let us go to bring about a reconciliation between them." Number 859, narrated Aisha, the following verse, "If a woman fears cruelty or desertion on her husband's part," in other words, the husband notices something unpleasant about his wife, such as old age or the like, and wants to divorce her, but she asks him to keep her and provide for her as he wishes, and that is Surah 4, verse 128. There is no blame on them if they can reconcile on such basis. So 859 corresponds to 4:128. Continuing, 860, narrated Abu Huraira and Zayd bin Khalid al-Jahani, the Bedouin came and said, "O Allah's apostle, judge between us according to Allah's laws." His opponent got up and said, "He is right. Judge between us according to Allah's laws." The Bedouin said, "My son was a laborer working for this man, and he committed illegal sexual intercourse with his wife. The people told me that my son should be stoned to death. So in lieu of that, I paid a ransom of 100 sheep and a slave girl to save my son. Then I asked the learned scholars, who said, 'Your son has to be lashed 100 lashes and has to be exiled for 1 year.' The prophet said, 'No doubt I will judge between you according to Allah's laws. The slave girl and the sheep are to go back to you, and your son will get 100 lashes and 1 year exile.' He then addressed somebody, 'O Unias, go to the wife of this man and stone her to death.' So Unias went and stoned her to death." Man, oh man, whoo! There you go. Yeah, that's just what's there. 7:58 p.m. This is KXVS.org, the Sunday Night Islam Show. I'm going to make a small note of that. 860. Adulterous got stoned. And adulterer, laborer got 1 year exile. Alrighty, 861. Narrated Aisha, Allah's apostle said, if somebody innovates something which is not in harmony with the principles of our religion, that thing is rejected. 862, narrated Al-Bara bin Azib, when Allah's apostle concluded a peace treaty with the people of Hubabiya, Ali bin Abu Talib wrote the document, and he mentioned in it Muhammad, Allah's apostle. The pagans said, "Don't write Muhammad, Allah's apostle, for if you were an apostle, we would not fight with you." Allah's apostle said, "Ask Ali to rub it out." But Ali said, "I will not be the person to rub it out." Allah's apostle rubbed it out and made peace with them on the condition that the Prophet and his companions would enter Mecca and stay there for 3 days, and that they would enter with their weapons in cases. 863, narrated Al-Bara. Well, 862 is right at 629 Common Era. Okay, 863. It is 8 p.m. You are webtuned to the voice of Stockton.org. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show. I'm your host, Richard Slezak. This is KXVS.org, soon to be Low Power FM Community Radio for Stockton. When the Prophet intended to perform Umrah in the month of Dhul Qa'dah, the people of Mecca did not let him enter Mecca till he settled the matter with them by promising to stay in it for 3 days only. When the document of treaty was written, the following was mentioned. These are the terms on which Muhammad, Allah's apostle, agreed to make peace. They said, "We will not agree to this, for if we believe that you are Allah's apostle, we would not prevent you, but you are Muhammad bin Abdullah." The Prophet said, "I am Allah's apostle and also Muhammad bin Abdullah." Then he said to Ali, "Rub off the words Allah's apostle." But Ali said, "No, by Allah, I will never rub off your name." So Allah's apostle took the document and wrote, This is what Muhammad bin Abdullah has agreed upon. No arms will be brought into Mecca except in their cases, and nobody from the people of Mecca will be allowed to go with him, in other words, the prophet, even if he wish to follow him, and he, the prophet, will not prevent any of his companions from staying in Mecca if the latter wants to stay. When the prophet entered Mecca and the time limit passed, the Meccans went to Ali and said, "Tell your friend," in other words, the prophet, "to go out as the period agreed to has passed." So the prophet went out of Mecca. The daughter of Hamza ran after them, in other words, the prophet and his companions, calling, "O uncle, O uncle." Ali received her and led her by the hand and said to Fatima, "Take your uncle's daughter." Zayd and Jafar quarreled about her. Ali said, "I have more right to her, as she is my uncle's daughter." Jafar said, "She is my uncle's daughter, and her aunt is my wife." Zayd said, "She is my brother's daughter." The prophet judged that she should be given to her aunt, and said that the aunt was like the mother, and then said to Ali, "You are from me, and I am from you," and said to Jafar, "You resemble me both in character and appearance," and said to Zayd, "You are our brother in faith and our freed slave." Number 864, narrated Ibn Umar. Allah's apostle set out for the Umrah, but the pagans of the Quraysh prevented him from reaching the Kaaba. So he slaughtered his sacrifice and got his head shaved at Al-Hudaybiyah, and agreed with them that he would perform Umrah the following year and would not carry weapons except swords, and would not stay in Mecca except for the period that they allowed. So the prophet performed the Umrah in the following year and entered Mecca according to the treaty, and when he stayed there for 3 days, the pagans ordered him to depart, and he departed. So that was 864, and that was 628 and 629 of the Common Era. Continuing. Number 865, narrated Saul bin Abu Hathma. Abdullah bin Saul Muhayyisa bin Masud bin Zayd went to Khaybar when it had a peace treaty with the Muslims. 866, narrated Anas. Rabi, the daughter of An-Nadur, broke the tooth of a girl, and the relative of Rabi requested the girl's relatives to accept the Irish compensation, the Irsh compensation for wounds, etc., and forgive the offender, but they refused. So they went to the prophet, who ordered them to bring about retaliation. Anas bin An-Nadur asked, "O Allah's apostle, will the tooth of Rabi be broken?" "No, by him who has sent you with the truth, her tooth will not be broken." The prophet said, "O Anas, Allah's laws ordains retaliation." Later, the relatives of the girl agreed and forgave her. The prophet said, "There are some of Allah's slaves who, if they take an oath by Allah and respond to by Allah, in other words, their oath is fulfilled." Anas added, "The people agreed and accepted the Irsh." We have 8:06 p.m. So 866, payment for injury, and also stop. Alrighty. 867, and just yeah, there's only 873. Not many left. Okay, well, but there's not a lot of time left in our show. So that's the Sunday Evening Islam show, the recorded portion thereof. Thank you for being with us. And we'll be, next episode, we'll be continuing with Book 49 on peacemaking. And this was one of Muhammad's more recognized things that he added to world history. So with that, let me head over here to the before he united the tribes of Arabia. And let me get this audition work done. And yeah, get the little mouse going over here. And thanks for listening in, especially on this recorded portion, those of you who who have listened to this at a later date. Alrighty, it's been the Sunday Evening Islam Show over KXVS.org. We got 8:08 p.m. Alrighty, continuing. Let me take things down here on the YouTube and Facebook.